Hey, welcome back to them Brothers from Inglewood podcast, coming to you live and direct. I'm Hoopy, your host, and I'm going to ask if you would like, subscribe, share, ring the notification button so that you'll be abreast as to when we're airing fresh and new content. Listen, it's been an exciting week, and I want to share something that I believe will encourage you. It will definitely get you to thinking, and it won't be any different from the subjects that we usually introduce from week to week. But this, I think, is going to really encourage your, I would say, creative thoughts, okay? And so today I want to talk about life after work. Yeah, exactly. Life after work. What does life after work look like to you? What is that ideal lifestyle? What is that ideal situation for you after you retire? Many of us, we actually never retire. We're always constantly doing something, and it's in the way of work, okay? So when I think about life after work, I think about what are my plans after I reach an age or a time where I'm eligible to retire from my current job or my career. What does retirement really look like? Is it about having X amount of money? Is it about having a certain level of medical health benefits? Is it about relocating? What is life after work for you? And then also, let's make it a little more interesting. What is life after work in your regular weekly schedule, your regular daily schedule? What happens with you when work is completed, when work is done, okay? I want to go from this standpoint. Parenting has no expiration date. I don't care how old you get, you're not going to get to a place where you can say, hey, I've retired from being a parent. I've retired from not, facilitating my children. That just doesn't happen. Now, I do know that there are some relationships that are not kosher, they're not healthy. Parents aren't talking to children, children aren't talking to their parents. They're estranged, okay? And some of those relationships never got mended. Someone transitioned, passed away without correcting or at least getting clarity or closure from a relationship, okay? So let's kind of look at life after work from a career standpoint. Are we established enough? Are we forward thinking enough to where we have an actual plan in place for when it's time to stop working? Now, some people have actually worked for 30 or more years. I'll just say 25 or more years on one job, quit that job, got another job, and did another 15 years or another 20 years. Or they may have actually worked two jobs at the same time, retired from one and stayed on the other, okay? That's fine. I understand that. What happens after retirement, though? What happens after work ceases? Do you have any idea of what you want to do, what you will be doing? A lot of times people will play the percentages and they'll say, hey, this guy passed away days after he retired, or he passed away a year later or 2 years later. I don't know if I want to retire. I don't know if I want to go that route. But I don't think any of us have the control and authority over when it's our time to leave. I think what we do is we prepare while we're here. We enjoy life as we know it. and we began to build those relationships, and we build our lifestyle from there. I think educated thinkers are always trying to find structure. They're always trying to find some kind of way to establish themselves afterwards, right? And then when you do that, you have to get either, I would say, professional assistance, or you have to develop a plan of action and stick with it so that you can actually go through the progression. I personally have considered what life will be like after work for me. Number one, I want to get to a place where I can still enjoy myself without feeling that I'm not making enough financially. I'm not able to do what I was doing in my leisure and my extracurricular stuff now that I'm not working. And we already know that most of us, we don't get 100% of our salaries once we retire, although there are people who have skillfully and intelligently invested to where not only are they getting what they were getting on their particular jobs, but they're getting more of an increase because of those positive investments. And that's sort of like where I am. I would love to create a portfolio that will take care of me as well as my children at my demise. But I don't want my children to wait for my demise just to have something that will allow them to be comfortable or make things convenient, okay? So I think really life after work is actually preparation and planning for your future. I think many of us have been told or communicated with somewhat about our future and about investing, and some of us fail to take advantage of it. But I don't think that it's actually too late. I don't think that it's like a wash and we can't reestablish ourselves at some point, right? Because I think it's all about investing in the right thing. It's all about investing in something that is proven, when we already know nothing is 101%, right? But there are some great opportunities to get into for investing. There are different firms, there are different branches, there are different outlets that you can create to invest and build your portfolio, okay? So a lot of times we have to just have to ask the right questions, gain the insight from other professionals, people who have done it, people that are doing it. And once we get into that state of mindset, now we're exposing ourselves to greater opportunities, okay? Life after work has to be comfortable enough for me to say that I'm appreciative for just waking up in the morning, putting one foot down, putting my second foot down, going into my kitchen, making me coffee or making me tea, making breakfast, whatever the case may be. I think that we can create comfortability and convenience if we diligently prepare, okay? And I'm not saying that the things that we get into will be 100% proof. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying give yourself a chance, give yourself an opportunity to actually create something for your future. I don't plan to work beyond really 64. 63, 64 is really, that's something that I set out to do many, many years ago. When I was in my 30s, I was already thinking about my 60s. I got a couple of buddies that can attest to the fact that I saw retirement for myself, a form of retirement, at age 45. Why? Because I really thought as a kid and maybe early high school that I would play professional sports, I would invest my money, and I would secure a future for my life by the time I was 45. Now, I'm not saying that athletes were averaging 45 in age as a current player, because I think Kareem at that time, and I know in basketball, he was probably one of the oldest players to play at that point, because I believe Kareem retired when he was 41. And now we see guys who have 20 plus years in a professional sport, especially basketball. LeBron James just completed his 21st year, and Chris Paul as well just completed his 20th year. And then Jamal Crawford, former NBA player, he played 20 years. Vince Carter, I believe, played 21 or 22 years. So it hasn't been a lot of guys who stayed in a professional sport for 20 years or more, okay? So we know that some of those guys stayed as long because they started so young, and then their bodies held up. They didn't experience a lot of injuries, and they were able to continue their careers. So life after work is really something for you to think about. Please put it in the chat, comment on it, give us some feedback. Hey, give us some helpful hints as it relates to how we can strengthen the odds of having a better future by preparing and doing those things before it's actually time to retire. And so the subject should be thought-provoking and encouraging to you as it relates to what will you do, or what do you have planned after work. Okay, when work is done, what do you plan to do to survive? What will your income be like? What will your living arrangements be like? What does that look like moving forward? And if the truth be told, it has been somewhat frustrating at times, because you look back in retrospect and you say, wow, when I had this amount of money, I could have easily bought some units. I could have easily put a few dollars in Pepsi Cola, or I could have invested in Microsoft, and all these thoughts run through your mind, because it's not been so easy for a lot of us to get our hands on quality dollars, quality finance. Okay, jobs are good, they're wonderful, but they're actually capped off. Your job is actually created or established for you to pay your bills. It's for you to pretty much create something, moving forward for your children. It's something to put together, for everyday life. Okay, so life after work has to be more than just what you've accumulated at that point. Will you be able to travel? Will you be able to still maintain the lifestyle you had when you were working at that job? And that's why it's very important to find investment firms, brokerage that you can pour your money into. And those of you that are on jobs where you have a 401k, you can actually put money into that and then allow the employer to match it. Okay, there's a lot of systems where, I used to work for FedEx Corporation, and they had a 401k just like that, where you could just pay into it. You can pay into it. You can pay into it. And to me, those were things that really and truly inspired me to invest my money, because I knew my money was growing. I knew this was a very established company, and that they were really going to be around for a while. Okay, and so I'm encouraged, and I want to encourage you. Invest your money, maintain or manage your money properly, so that you will have a solid future. Or better yet, you'll have a solid life after work. Okay, I know that this is sort of something that probably would call for a financial person to come in with expertise to show us how to grow our money and things of that nature. But I'm just springboarding from a thought, and I'm hoping, because I'm an entrepreneur. I've been an entrepreneur for over 35 years, and understanding the liberty of creating your own wealth and managing your position in your field of interest, it's not easy. It's a lot of ups and downs, but it's also rewarding because you're working for yourself. And I'm gonna throw this in there just because. And this is a fundamental truth that I learned from a broker many years ago. Over 18 years ago, I was told, always pay yourself first. That's rule of thumb. That's business 101. Pay yourself first. And I didn't understand that. I really didn't. I thought, everything that I was making was cool, and I wanted to pay my bills, and so I'm working. I'm looking for this next paycheck so I can pay somebody, and that was the right thing to do. You pay your bills and you pay them on time, and that's the right thing to do. And so when they were telling me pay yourself first, that was kind of conflicting to me, because I'm an avid tither, whereas I could go into that, but I'm not giving you a Bible study today. But I've always given my substance, my financial gifts to the church that I attended, to the church that I eventually began to pastor. I just believed that you should give to the work of the ministry. So that concept was kind of strange to me, because I always felt that you pay your bills, you pay God, or you pay your tithes, or you give your offerings and things like that before you do anything. You give God his off the top. And then when I hear the business aspect and acronym, they were like, no, pay yourself first. Pay you. Because if you don't keep going, or you're not straight, nothing else is going to be going. Okay? So I want to say thank you for listening. Thank you for commenting. I'm going to ask if you would like, subscribe, share, ring the notification button so that you'll be abreast when we're airing fresh and new episodes. I'm signing off. This car is coming to a stop. Looking forward to hearing from you. Looking forward to coming back on next few days. Take care. Peace. I'm out.